Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. Welcome back to the best of 7 between BurnOneDown and Galactic Gaming here in the 3rd division of the StarCraft 2 Improved Team League. Last time, we saw Dietra take down Galactic Gaming's Flobber using a lot of very creative airplay with his Void Race carriers and Mothership to make the score 2-1 for BurnOneDown. So we'll see if Dietra can hang on to his crown for more than one round, because no other player has been able to do that yet. Down here in the bottom left, again, we have the yellow Protoss, BurnOneDown's Dietra, and he'll be taking on the red Terran, and up here in the top right corner, which is Galactic Gaming's Bernie. I'm very happy to see a Terran player, finally, if only because Terran Master Race, for me personally. And both players will be duking it out here on Overgrowth. Similar to the maps we've seen previously in this best of 7, Overgrowth has the natural up here sort of on the platform next to the sort of double platform the main's on. So you'll tend to see players, at least I've tended to see players, grab their natural right quickly, and they're a little hesitant to make this their third. They tend to prefer to stay up here on the platform, make this their third, and they'll only really push out down here and down into this sort of ground level area later on in the game. So we'll see where both players tend to go. Dietra went for the airplay right quickly last time, but I think he might just be going ground forces because last time he got his assimilators up really quickly. Bernie is sending his scouting SCV down right now, so we'll see that nothing too freaky is going on compared to last game. Excuse me. And I do apologize in advance. That's always a great thing to hear when casting I might sound a little more muddled than usual. I am still fighting off the tail end of a cold, but I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get these games to you ASAP because these have been amazing games. So great job to both teams thus far. Bernie is going to just steal 5 minerals from Dietra and head up to scout his base, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. I don't know why, but this just really makes me laugh. It's very cheeky, we'll say. Gateway going up right now, so and for the Cybercore, so I do believe he's just going to go for the warp gate right now and then just try and push out once that finishes. We'll probably see a proxy pylon before too long. Bernie's plonking down an engineering bay here at Dietra's natural, so that is going to slow down any expanding Dietra might have planned in the future, although it looks like Dietra was waiting for base only at about 100 minerals right now. And so if Bernie wants, he can probably just expand right now while Dietra's trying to take out this engineering bay, and he would be in a very good macro position compared to the Protoss player, although he's just going to leave this sort of half finish and just slow down Dietra, head back up to scout that out with Zealot out. That engineering bay won't last too much longer, especially now that the mothership core is in production. Meanwhile, back at Bernie's base, he is going for the factory off of that barrack, so he's probably going to go for some Widow Mine play right quickly, or just going to go for a 1-1-1 build and try and use the innate flexibility of that build to just try and build off of it and see what he can counter there from Dietra. And just talking a bit about this matchup, PvT, I really like this matchup, at least whenever I'm playing, because I find that, personally, Protoss and Terran tend to have a lot of hard counters to each other. For example, if you go heavy Bio Ball for the Terran, that's the Marine, the Marauder with some medevac backup, Protoss can just quickly respond with some Colossi. Then the Terran can respond back to that with a lot of Viking play. Or, for example, if Terran goes a lot of Widow Mines, Protoss will counter that with Oracles and Observers and a lot of Blink Stalkers, try and snipe the Widow Mines from a distance. But then Terran might want to counter that with a lot of Marauders with the Stimpak. So really, it's a lot of high-speed chess, sort of, I find, with this build, with this matchup, excuse me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of that. Looks like the first couple of units right now for Burma, he's going Marauder Widow Mine, and he's pushing out right now. He really wants to try and get some early harass right now, especially because Dietra, he is going for that very early natural expansion. So if Bernie can snipe a couple of probes, he will be in a great position to expand himself and out macro Dietra. Although with the mothership core out now and even that Zealot, I don't think the Marauder and Widow Mine will get too far. And Dietra's going for a fairly quick robo facility, so if he gets that Observer up by the time the Widow Mine comes down, the Widow Mine won't even do anything, and this attack will fail. Another couple units on the way, looks like more Marauders and Widow Mines. Although if Bernie just wants to hang out here, he would be able to prevent the Dietra from pushing out too much. Natural going down for Bernie right down a little. Right about on time, and Dietra is quickly saturating this, so we'll see what Bernie can do as the first couple units are going to fight it out. No, quick Photon Overcharge on that Nexus are going to scare off the Marauders, and the Observer is coming out right now for Dietra, so this Widow Mine won't even be able to do anything, although I think it did just slap down a Zealot. There's one kill on it right now. Bernie is, however, he's pushing his luck. He's still pushing out with more more Marauders and Widow Mines, so we'll see where that leaves him. Observer comes over and just snipes that, helps the Nexus snipe that Widow Mine. Photon Cannon coming out now, so I think Bernie would be well advised to not push this attack too much farther. Looks like Dietrich's going for a 3-gate robo. A couple more gateways are currently being warped in his base. Immortal's coming out right now, so that is a very good counter against all this Immortal play. And it looks like Bernie is pushing down to the Nexus. That Photon Cannon isn't done quite yet. I think he might be able to get it right now before it finishes if you focus fire with the Marauders. No, Bernie will cancel it. Another Photon Cannon on the way, but that's going to be taken out. And I think Bernie might actually no, with it looks like another stock warped in. The Mothership Core, those Marauders should get out of there. But if it wasn't for them, they could probably have taken out that Immortal. Good force field there, traps the Marauder, and that will go down. And they're just going to quickly snipe out that Widow Mine, and I think that is it for that little bit of early aggression from Bernie. +1 armor coming out from Dietrich right off the bat. And it looks like back at base, Bernie is going for a pretty heavy bio-ball. He's got a couple more barracks, and it looks like at least one more was on the way. And it looks like he's going to be double pumping out some... no, he's not double pumping out Widow Mines. He's just going for the usual swap trick to just build the reactor there, build the starport, switch him over, and then he can double pump out medevacs. So we are going to see the Terran bio-ball here right quickly. And it looks like Dietrich is ready to push out. Not pushing out with much military, though. He's just got the 1 Stalker, 1 Immortal, several sentries. And it looks like Bernie is content to just turtle up. So if Dietrich wants to run in, he's going to have to run past those Widow Mines. He does have an Observer in that mix, but I think that they will be able to get their missiles off before he can get them sniped. And with a few more Marines on the way, I think this attack from Dietrich isn't going to get too far if he even decides to push it, which he probably shouldn't right now. Excuse me. Robo Bay on the way now for Dietrich, so we will see some Colossi relatively quickly, which, as I said before, is the counter to Marine Marauder medevac. So we'll see what Bernie does to counter that once he scouts it. And it looks like Dietrich is about to turn the favor to Bernie, although he is hesitating a little bit. Doesn't have a proxy pylon, and he does have Warp Gate done. I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think, if anything, now would be the time to get that proxy pylon, try and keep the Terran behind his wall. And it looks like Dietrich isn't even going to try it. He's just going to head all the way back home. Very wise. There's no way that 4 sentries and a Immortal Stalker would be anywhere near to getting through this wall in by the Terran, especially with the missile turret. Would be easily be able to take out the Observer, leaving the Widow Mines free to do whatever they wanted, which is mostly slap that Mothership Core right out of the sky with their Sentinel missiles. And it looks like Bernie is actually about to push out right now. First medevac is heading out, and one more is on the way. We'll see if he waits for it. I don't think he's going to. He seems to be chomping at the bit, ready to go. He empties his bunkers, and I think he's just about on the way. Not a whole lot more being warped in for Dietrich. It looks like he's waiting for that Colossi, and he's getting his 3rd right now, so this will slow down his military production. I don't think he'll be able to defend too well against this aggression coming down from the Terran player. Very good mix of Marines and Marauders, and even a couple Widow Mines in there would be able to do a heck of a lot of damage, especially now with combat shields done. Stim pack is completed, and +1 weapons are on the way. One Zealot is going to learn the hard way what Terrans can do. Although Bernie is quite supply blocked well now, so that will bite him. If this attack fails. Although a great snipe on that pylon, way too fast for Dietrich to even cancel. That will cost him a couple hundred minerals right there. And looks like we're heading towards a pretty big engagement right now. Pylon goes down, Zealot goes down. I think this would be more than enough to take out that Nexus with the Colossi coming out. Oh, good time warp there by the Mothership Core. The army won't be able to get out of there in time. And it looks like... oh, it's going to be close, but I think those Immortals focus fire down those Marauders more than good enough to prevent them from taking out the Colossi. Colossi is going to survive on about half health, and that medevac is going to get the heck out of there. Firing the afterburners and everything, she's like, you guys are on your own. But they did manage to get that Nexus, which will slow down Dietrich's macro by quite a bit, because he's going to need to... oh, he's even tried to block it right there, but Colossi did snipe that Widow Mine just in time. The Nexus will go down as planned, and I don't think there's going to be too much Bernie can do to prevent it from going down again. Although he is pushing out right now with a couple more medevacs, which are going to leave his ground forces in the dust with a bit of an ill-timed afterburners, if you ask me. Also, there's actually 3 medevacs in there, and a couple more on the way. So this army will have better survivability compared to his first one, especially once those Colossi get on the field. Although it looks like Dietrich is getting ready to push out himself. He's got a couple more Colossi, and I think... now still just the 2 Immortals, but he's still very light on Stalkers and Zealots. I don't think that this army is going to hold up very well to the Terran army. And Oh, and they're going to kick off the engagement right now, and those stalkers will go down. But good force fields there from Dietrich will convince the Terran that he's retreat is the better part of valor right now. And both players content to return to their bases and just macro from here. Third base just about completed for Dietrich. It looks like Bernie does have his third up and running, so we'll be able to keep up with the macro game. But 3-base Terran versus 3-base Protoss is not a position I'd like to be in. Pardon me. More medevacs and more Marines and Marauders on the way right now, so it looks like Bernie is content to keep pushing. I do like this. He really needs to keep Dietrich on the back foot and even go for a drop, which actually he's going for right now. He's heading down for some quick drop play, and there's one photon cannon here that's not going to keep that medevac out. And it looks like he's just content to just drop his forces in there, but no, Dietrich is warping in a lot more zealots. Those units can get that medevac and get out of there, but I think the medevac is going to go down. Although I think Bernie is just going to commit, try and take out as many probes as he can. I'm not too sure if he's going to get anything. He might. No, he won't even get that robo facility before the Colossi comes out. The Colossi will clean it up and with the help of the photon overcharge. I don't even think he got any workers there. He's gotten 2 workers. That might have been them, but I think that was a little bit earlier, especially with that probe that we saw die right here when it was putting down the pylon. And it looks like Bernie is getting ready to push out again. He's committed to this very heavy bio ball, and it looks like he's even going for a 4th right now, or if not that, failing that, a macro command center. Bernie doing a great job of grabbing both of the watchtowers. I mean, he's going to have a lot more data than Dietrich is when it comes to pushing out. If Dietrich was able to grab this Zenlong watchtower, he would be able to tell whenever Bernie was coming down. But since Bernie has it, Dietrich is not going to know what's going on. And it looks like Bernie is going for another drop, but he's going to find it a little harder to get it back in with some more photon cannons right there. So we'll see what he can do. I don't know how much he'll be able to snipe with the extra cannons there, especially because these warp gates are starting to cooling down quite quickly. It looks like Bernie is going to push out down on the right side, so I think he's actually going for a pincer attack. This is good. He's going to be able to draw Dietrich's army away at the same time, get into the main and do some real damage. But he needs to push out right quickly because Dietrich is about to get Templar Archives, and if he warps in some DTs, then this army is going to be absolutely murked. But I think no, that's not an orbital command, and he's mostly using his orbitals for mules, I think, so he won't have too many scans. Dietrich is pushing out right now, so if Bernie's going to do anything, he needs to do it right now. He does know he's pushing out thanks to grabbing those watchtowers, and Bernie's going to push in right now. Ground force is heading right towards the 3rd, and the drop is going right for the main. He's going right for the heart of all of Dietrich's warp gates. This is going to severely hamper his ability to get any more units, and the Protoss army is hesitating in the middle, not sure if they want to go for the Terran or go back to defending. He's going to choose to defend, but the ground forces are right into the 3rd, and they're taking out all kinds of probes, and the Nexus is probably going to fall pretty quickly, excuse me. And meanwhile, back in the main, Bernie is doing an excellent job of taking out any warped in units, and I think he will be able to take out the pylon, power down a couple of the warp gates. And looks like that ground attack did fail thanks to the Dietrich's army coming up behind, but they did just hop into the medevacs and get out of there. Meanwhile, the army needs to head back up to this main to take this out. There is a mass recall by the Mothership Corps back to the main, and that will be able to clean that up. A few units do get away. Oh, but meanwhile, while the main army Dietrich isn't his main, Burmese ground forces are heading back out again. Oh, great job cleaning up all those high temps. I don't think they took out any of the medevacs, but they did just sop them up of all their energy. So they won't be able to heal as the main army comes down again. But Bernie is not giving Dietrich a second to rest. He's dropping those forces that he just pulled out back into the main. Like, he is keeping Dietrich, like, just running back and forth over and over again. He's going to be able to whittle him down unless Dietrich can strike some sort of a decisive blow against one of these drops. And it looks like Bernie is able to reinforce, but he does split his army, so he will lose a fair bit of this. No, Dietrich does pull back instead of trying to take out that half of the army. Good force field placements will be able to help a lot of this cleanup. There's a lot of Vikings taking out all those Colossi. Meanwhile, back at the main, a couple of Zealots will be able to clean this up, I think. But Dietrich's starting to look mighty thin on the ground and back in his main army. Those Vikings doing an excellent job of taking out all those Colossi. 2 of them are already gone down. One more goes down. That Immortal is about to fall as well. And I think that's going to be it for the Colossi. These ground units should be able to clean up those Stalkers quite easily. And that drop did survive those Zealots. A couple more hours plinking away at Dietrich's forces. More units coming down from Bernie. And Dietrich's starting to look very thin on the ground. He doesn't have a whole lot of minerals to try and warp more units in. That 3rd has gone down. Although it looks like this drop in the main will finally get cleaned up by a couple of extra zealots, but Dietrich's just essentially just mining off of one base, and he's starting to look very thin in terms of resources. A few more high temps warped in. I don't know, he doesn't even have Psystorm yet. He's just going straight for Archons. That would be quite good against all these Marauders, but I think it's going to be too little too late, especially now that Bernie is just about to hit 200 out of 200, which is well more than 100 supply than Dietrich has right now. That third has completely been cleaned up, and it looks like he's going right for the natural, which is Dietrich's last mining base. +3, almost done for the Terran player as well. Psystorm coming out, but that's going to be too little too late, I fear. High temps can get a couple feedbacks on these medevacs, but that's not quite enough to take it down. And, oh, a few more Zealots might be able to help it. That's a lot of Archons on the field, and I think that might be able to at least scare off the Terran player for now, but there's a lot more reinforcements coming down the mini-map right now. Dietrich is doing a good job of keeping the Terran from keeping Bernie from striking the decisive blow, but Bernie is still doing a very good job. Looks like he's dropped in the main again. He is taking out any reinforcing units that are coming this way. He's forcing Dietrich to try and divide his attention. The army runs up to take care of the army in the main, and they do scare it off, but this gives the rest of Bernie's forces enough time to head out and start taking the natural. He just drops those units back in there, catching all those Archons in the pincer movement. They're all going to go down. Dietrich pulling his probes, trying to do something, but they're not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot. 2 of the Archons going down, 1 to follow, and there's the GG. And I'm just going to pause it there because I forgot to leave this for a good 20 seconds. Oh, well done to Bernie. He did an absolutely amazing job keeping those drops coming non-stop down here to try and force the army to pull this way, and then just running through the gap here, taking out his third. And by the time the army got over here, Bernie was just dropping it again in the main, trying to take out his production facilities. He even had him supply blocked at one point, so that was a very good job by Bernie. And with that, Bernie ties it up at 2-2 for Galactic Gaming. So we'll see how long he holds on to his crown in Game 5 of this best of 7. This is Blazes, and I'll see you guys in Game 5.